Bitcoin under fire. Welcome to First Mover, your first global look at today's action in the Bitcoin, blockchain, and digital asset space. I'm your host, Christine Lee, and joining me are my co-hosts, CoinDesk Managing Editor of Global Capital Markets, Lewitinn, and Managing Director of International Content, Emily Parker. Good morning. What a day. Elon Musk is on the top of everyone's lips, isn't it?
As he tends to be in the crypto world.
All right, so checking in on Bitcoin, the CoinDesk Bitcoin price XBX index is currently trading at $50,345. Bitcoin is down 10.6% about over the past 24 hours, and the CoinDesk Ether price ETX index right now is trading at 38.32. ETH is down as well, about 10.8%. We're seeing correlation among crypto markets right now. Everything's slightly down. The most reliable reference prices for institutions since 2014 are now published under the CoinDesk brand, trusted globally as the leader in crypto news, events, and data. And looking at our top story, Elon Musk tweeting about Tesla and Bitcoin. Looking at this message, Tesla has suspended vehicle purchases using Bitcoin. We are concerned about rapidly increasing use of fossil fuels for Bitcoin mining and transactions, especially coal, which has the worst emissions of any fuel. Cryptocurrency is a good idea on many levels, and we believe it has a promising future, but this cannot come at great cost to the environment. And it goes on. Emily, he's not selling his Bitcoin though, and this is just news to him right now. What's going on?
Yeah, it's very unclear. It raises a lot of questions, particularly about timing, because this is not a new issue. I mean, this controversy about Bitcoin and energy and Bitcoin and the environment has been going on for a long time. It's a huge point of contention within the crypto industry. It's gotten a lot of mainstream media attention. So why is Elon Musk deciding now that this is a problem? And, it raises some other questions too about what he's planning. I have a feeling this is not the end of the story. For example, earlier he tweeted a question asking if people would be into Tesla accepting Doge. So, and then right after that, he tweeted this about Tesla and Bitcoin. So clearly there's something going on. I don't know if it's a Doge play or if it's something else, but I have a feeling that we will be hearing more from Tesla.
Yeah, and this is not something new, and there's a lot of talk on crypto Twitter about, is he playing some sort of 3D chess? About 75% of miners use renewable energy. Miners are incentivized to find cheap renewable energy around the world. So could Tesla come up with its own unique way to make Bitcoin mining more sustainable? Reuters just came out with an exclusive saying that Tesla is seeking entry into the U.S. renewable fuel credit market. But nevertheless, Lawrence, this is having a huge impact on price, isn't it? Oh, Lawrence, I think you're on mute.
There we go. How's that?
Yes, we can hear you now.
So, yeah, to Emily's point about, what might be behind it, my guess, at least, is we haven't really heard about Tesla selling cars for Bitcoin. So chances are it's a great way to cover up saying, oh, well, we're not going to accept it now. Well, you haven't been accepting it because few people have been buying their Teslas with their Bitcoin. So that could also explain some of that. But Bitcoin dropped about $10,000 over a matter of hours. The market cap in crypto went down $500 billion nearly in the course of 24 hours. So, we talk about bad jokes on Saturday Night Live. This tweet, everything else is old comments. That's really a bad joke for a lot of people who are owning crypto. And, it also proves that the markets are kind of immature right now because it's so dependent on one person, somebody like Elon Musk or Vitalik Buterin, who gave away a bunch of meme coins, and that tanked the market. And Michael Saylor with his, 92,000 Bitcoin. We have to watch MicroStrategy over the next few hours to see how they do because they have so much Bitcoin on their balance sheet.
Yeah, let's check out the crypto markets. The Crypto Markets Update is presented by Grayscale, the world's largest digital currency asset manager. All right, joining us now to discuss with more is Multicoin Capital co-founder and managing partner Kyle Samani. Welcome, Kyle, to the show.
Hey, Christine, thanks so much for having me on. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. So it's a very interesting day. The crypto markets are pulling back. What's your assessment?
Yeah, I mean, people like to do cause-effect analysis and say, well, Musk did a thing and therefore the price is down. I'm not sure there's a real cause-effect correlation here. It's possible there's cause-effect analysis, but I wouldn't read too much into it. There's a lot of noise in crypto markets. People sell for whatever reason, and that's probably more what happened. And there was a few liquidations, and then Musk tweeted, and then people get scared about Musk tweeting, and then it just kind of get the weird reflexivity. But it rebounded, so like that probably doesn't mean anything.
Kyle, it hasn't rebounded by much, and that sell-off did happen around the time of Musk's tweet. It's not like all the traders in the world just got up and had a bad day and sold. So how worried should we be that one person's tweets or one person's actions can have such an effect on the crypto markets in general? I mean, he's not even Jerome Powell to do this.
I mean, there's a lot of people who can individually impact the market if they choose to. Musk is kind of one of the more prominent ones that chooses to. And I think that's generally great. It's the Wild West of financial markets. It's definitively not a security. And like, it's a whole kind of new world of capital formation and trading. And so I generally support exploring kind of the limits of what is possible and what is not. I don't think he's doing anything explicitly bad where he's like buying, saying good things and selling. I don't think there's any outright manipulative behavior. And if you assume that's the base case, which I think that is the base case, then, you know, it's kind of we're in the frontier of finance, and that's super exciting. The fact that Musk is supporting crypto is like, even if they like stop taking crypto, Bitcoin for Tesla, is still like fantastically good, because it's just attention is important. You need people to know about it and think about it and go look into it. And like Elon Musk is Superman.
The comments, though, seem to be quite the, I wouldn't say totally the opposite, but it definitely was a critique of crypto after months and months and months, if not longer, supporting it. It seems like a reverse course, or at least a pause in what they're doing. So, you know, but getting back to the whole thing about one individual, it might not be manipulation, but shouldn't at least people be worried that you have a few individuals whose comments or what have you can sway the market, if not for manipulation, but at the very least, you know, move it around 5-10% at any given day in a way that you don't see in other capital markets?
I mean, I think that's look, it's risk, but like risk works both ways. It goes up and it goes down. So people weren't complaining when Musk said, you know, Tesla's going to accept Bitcoin. They were complaining when he said it doesn't accept Bitcoin. And so I just think it's like, look, OPEC is like literally a legal, not legalized. It's a formalized cartel on one of the largest commodity markets in the world. And it's just okay. That's just how the market is, right? Like here, it's a different kind of new thing. And I'm not saying Musk is OPEC. Obviously, he doesn't control the supply of Bitcoin, but like it's just part of the market structure, and like you just kind of manage and navigate accordingly. I don't think it's bad or good. In fact, it's not good in the sense that all press is good press, and Musk knows how to like work the press, and so props to him.
Kyle, if I could just ask you to speculate for one moment about the timing of this announcement, whether or not you seem to have some disagreement about how the impact it had on the price, but just looking at the announcement itself, why now? I mean, this question about Bitcoin and the environment has been going on for quite a long time. Why do you think Tesla would choose to take this position now?
I don't have any particular insight into Tesla's strategy or operations or what's going on, so I don't know, but with most things in the world, people want to read into them more than matters. I mean, I would argue that I think the strongest conclusion that is drawable is Elon Musk is going to continue to talk about crypto and like do weird, dumb crypto things. Some of them will be dumb. Some of them will be strategic and interesting. He obviously thinks this is important. Obviously, proof of work is not ethos aligned with Tesla's mission. And so he's probably going to go get involved with proof of stake coins, right? And I think that's probably the strongest conclusion that can be drawn. Everything else is less strong.
Proof of stake coins, that's interesting. On the other, moving topics, Multicoin Capital has just raised $100 million to back entrepreneurs in the crypto space. What are you looking at, and who are you backing?
Yeah, so we just announced our new venture fund, Venture Fund 2. We closed the fund in March, and I think we've already deployed more than a third of the fund, so we've been deploying it very aggressively. We have on our website our 3 mega theses that guide all of our investments, and those are open finance, Web3, and non-sovereign money. And we've had those there for a few years, and we expect to continue to invest along those theses for the next decade, if not more. Those are kind of core to what we do. And there's just a ton of amazing entrepreneurs today building new things. In particular, I think one of the most interesting kind of new areas that's popping up is kind of DeFi on Solana. The Solana ecosystem just crossed $1.5 billion in TVL, and Jump Trading just announced a new oracle called Pyth. I think this is super interesting because Jump is one of the largest trading firms in the world, like 900 employees. They trade every single asset class across every single regulated venue around the world. And obviously they have just, they interface with every single exchange around the planet. And they're, saying, hey, we're going to build an oracle. And you can only assume they're going to start to pipe data in from, all of the trading venues, right, around the world for all these different asset classes. And they're going to pipe it into Solana, and they're going to trade, create off. There's obviously going to be derivatives markets on Serum. And I just think this is we're just now at the kind of frontier of what's going to be possible with these decentralized trading things. And I think folks like Jump legitimizing this and building this is just super, super exciting.
So do you also believe that perhaps proof of work coins are going to be less efficient and people should move toward proof of stake, decentralized finance, Ethereum, and such coins?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of proof of work. Proof of work was, by all accounts, a breakthrough, and props to Satoshi for coming up with it. I mean, it was a real step forward in consensus theory and a bunch of other things. But since then, with most innovations in the world, someone comes with a breakthrough, and then a bunch of other people look at the breakthrough and say, "Oh, this was brilliant," and they start iterating on the idea and tinkering with the idea and going from there. And permissionless consensus algorithms is one of those things, just like any other vector of innovation. And yeah, at this point, I feel very comfortable that proof of stake is the future and proof of work is going to go the way of the dodo. It's just, it's too slow, it's too inefficient, it's just unnecessary, and we just don't need to hold on to the past. We should build the future, not look to the past.
All right, Kyle, thanks for your insights. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thank y'all.
Right, that was Multicoin Capital co-founder and managing partner Kyle Samani. Coming up, we'll check in on what's happening at the world's third largest crypto derivatives exchange, OKEX.
We are witnessing the greatest paradigm shift in finance in modern history. Join thousands of newsmakers and influencers talking the future of money at Consensus by CoinDesk. A live virtual experience of leaders, changemakers, virtual reality meetups, keynotes from Ray Dalio, Gary Vaynerchuk, and much more. Get an up-close look at the boom in crypto, the surge of institutional investment in Bitcoin, NFT mania, the breakneck innovation in decentralized finance, and the coming disruption from central bank digital currencies. Join us May 24th to May 27th for Consensus by CoinDesk.
Time now for the daily forecast, an update on what's happening in the Asia crypto markets. Here's Angie Lau of Forecast News.
Welcome to the Daily Forecast, May 13th, 2021. I'm Angie Lau. Let's get you up to speed from Asia to the world. A volatile day in crypto markets as reaction pours into Tesla's Elon Musk backtracking on plans to accept Bitcoin as payment for the company's electric vehicles. The reason, he says, the increasing use of fossil fuels for Bitcoin mining and transactions. In a statement posted on Twitter, Musk says, in part, cryptocurrency is a good idea on many levels, and we believe it has a promising future, but this cannot come at a great cost to the environment. It's that environmental impact that projects in Asia are hoping to mitigate. Max Song is the co-founder of Sustainable Bitcoin Standard, which is developing a certificate to verify coins that have been mined using renewable energy. And he hopes Musk's comments set the industry into high gear.
I think Elon is just a bit ahead of the curve. He made the decision to buy Bitcoin before many other listed companies have really gotten their act together. And now, as sort of the rest of the awareness and conversation is really caught up to Tesla. And so I hope that this is a catalytic effect.
Mining companies and chip makers, however, have been defending their energy use for some time now.
众所周知，特斯拉的话，它所生产的汽车，最大的这个优点，其实是因为它汽车主要的动力来源是因为是电力。其实这一点跟比特币本身所需要的这个能源其实是一样的。
So just how did Bitcoin end the day? Down just 11% after sinking to below 48,000 earlier in the day. And in the top 10 for cryptocurrencies, red across the board, but one bright spot poking out, Polkadot, up 1.2%. Some breaking news now. Blockchain unicorn is born in Asia. Hong Kong-based blockchain gaming pioneer Animoca Brands has raised $88,888,888. 8 here in Asia being a lucky number, of course, which sounds like the word prosperity.
Ultimately, this isn't just about gaming. This is about essentially creating a digital asset revolution, a digital property rights movement across all of our digital lives for everyone online.
NFTs in gaming. Is this the next wave? What we do know is that NFTs have captured the imagination of how virtual properties are defined and traded, and this may just be the beginning. Adding to the growing interest and investment in blockchain and DeFi here in Asia, Huobi Group, the parent company of the Huobi crypto exchange, announced today it's launching a venture arm with $100 million for blockchain and DeFi investments as well as M&As. Huobi is not alone here. Coinbase Ventures and Binance Labs have all been active on this front. Huobi Group CFO Lily Zhang says it's a long-term investment play and they're looking to bring more innovation to the industry.
More people should take more time to look at this industry, to look at this, especially very young, very young innovators. They always brought us very good idea and a very incredible idea to the blockchain industry.
Well, they don't call Asia a hotbed for nothing as we see increased dollars for investing in the next generation of crypto innovators. And finally, they say meme coins have no place in the real world. Well, here's a real use case that's popped up. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin donating over $1 billion worth of Shiba Inu to India's crypto COVID relief fund. In reaction to the donation, the charity started by Polygon co-founder Sandeep Naliwal tweeted, "We plan to do a thoughtful liquidation to ensure we meet our COVID relief goals." The Shiba Inu team sent Buterin half of the coin's 1 quadrillion total supply when it was first created. And that's the Daily Forecast. I'm Angie Lau. Until the next time.
Quick live update on Bitcoin. The CoinDesk Bitcoin price XBX index is currently trading at $50,000 flat. Bitcoin is down almost 11% over the past 24 hours, and the CoinDesk Ether price ETX index is trading at $37.95. ETH is down about 11.2% over the past 24 hours. All right, well, OKEX is the third largest crypto derivatives exchange in the world, handling almost $45 billion in daily transaction volume, according to CoinMarketCap. OKEX is a spin-off of OKCoin, which, like many crypto exchanges founded in China, fled the mainland when government officials banned crypto exchanges in 2017. OKEX eventually settled in Hong Kong while being officially based in Seychelles and listing its official address in Malaysia. Joining us now to discuss is OKEX Director Lennix Lai in Hong Kong. Welcome, Lennix.
Hey, how's it going?
Thanks for joining us. All right, so you have several announcements out, one being that OKEX is listing Shiba Inu's Shibcoin, a competitor to Dogecoin, as well as integrating with the Bitcoin Lightning Network to support cheaper and faster BTC transactions. How has the response been in Asia?
Oh, actually, we received a tremendous kind of like support from the especially APAC crypto investor. We record some of the highest growth in terms of depository rates and volume in Shiba. So I think this is a really kind of like a very interesting culture. So the meme culture is picking up across Asia, and because of the inspiration of Shiba, we see a lot of animal branded different kind of token that's currently available in the market as well.
Good morning, Lennix. We saw, of course, Vitalik Buterin gave away his Shiba Inu tokens and a bunch of other meme coins. He donated them, and that helped basically cause a sell-off in those markets. Is this a good business for OKEX to be involved in if you have somebody like Vitalik, for instance, who's quite nervous or at least not happy with what these things are doing and is more than willing to get rid of them?
I think it's like the best outcome for it, right? So the industry, the meme coin culture is basically just give away those kind of like tokens. I think 50% or 51% Vitalik to address, and hopefully they can get a support from the Vitalik. But Vitalik, in turn, he basically can sell all the rest of the token in the market, but he doesn't want to create a price impact. Instead, he actually donated to several charity and donation foundation. I think it's like the best outcome, right? So the entire memes culture, the entire memes kind of tokens originated from memes and for community-driven program. The price will be super volatile, hit a record high, and then some of the benefits is actually donated. The portion of the profit is donated and helping really some of the people in need. So if you think about that it's like the best outcome that we can see, and one of the best approach that the Vitalik can handle those that big chunk of inventory for those memes token.
I think what Lawrence is getting at, though, a little bit is not actually. I think you're right. Obviously, it's great that he made a donation, but I think Vitalik was in part doing this because he thinks these coins are problematic, right? And a lot of people think that. People think that about Dogecoin, and people think that even more about Sheepcoin. Like, does this coin have any fundamentals? Is it just going to crash, and are investors going to lose a ton of money? Do you have any concerns about that?
Yeah, we do have. I personally think I don't think it's a sustainable trend for keep creating a fork of DOE, because everyone want to replicate the success of Dogecoin, but as I mentioned a lot of time publicly, it's very difficult to actually replicate a similar community, the similar love and similar endorse from the community of Dogecoin. So I think the trend of keep forking these kind of memes coin, for example, trying to replicate the success of Dogecoin would not be sustainable. So I think maybe Shiba might be the one of the biggest success, but I don't see there would be a sustainable trend for keep having similar token available in crypto ecosystem.
Do you have any concerns, though? For example, my understanding is that you still have a pretty significant number of users in China. And so, if something like you're listing Sheepcoin and then it crashes dramatically and all these people lose money, this could trigger regulation of the crypto industry. It could make governments really nervous. I mean, is that, as you said, these coins are a little bit dangerous or potentially dangerous, right? So do you have any concerns about what it might mean to list them if there is a crash and ordinary investors lose a lot of money?
For example, all kind of tokens, different ecosystem has some sort of experimental kind of status. So what we are thinking is we have to allow a choice of kind of crypto for customer to pick, but at the same time we have lots of procedures for them in terms of risk management. So risk management in terms of risk warning or risk notification, risk reminding. So it's not particularly easy for everyone to want to just buy a lot of kind of like a smaller size or high risk token in a big chunk of manner. So I think as a crypto exchange, you have to find a way to balance the innovation, the experimental project, and investor education all at the same time. So our approach is we will offer choice, but at the same time, we will offer a lot of tools for risk management as well. And if you, for example, in the OKEX platform, if you want to buy a big chunk of kind of token, you're kind of like limited in certain size of holding limits. It's not very easy for if that particular token is defined as high risk, and you will receive a lot of risk warning in terms of when you have our apps, when you have our notification email.
Next to Emily's point about regulation, back in October, your founder, Starshu, was taken in by authorities. That actually was the start. It happened to coincide with the start in the rally in Bitcoin from its levels to now. there's kind of a that potentially businesses that are exchanges in places like China, that there might be some government intervention. So what assurances do you have that any government can't continue to, let's say, threaten your company's key people into sharing data?
So as a crypto exchange, we're operating in multiple jurisdictions, right? So you have to endorse that as a crypto exchange, you have to be careful and you have to be cooperative to regulatory requirements or different kind of regulatory requirements, and we have to understand that the regulatory and oversight to different kind of jurisdiction as well. So I think our approach is to, according to our basic standards or regulatory requirement, we will try to cooperate. We will try to seek appropriate local legal advice and fulfill the requirement of local jurisdictions.
So my understanding is that you still have some level of operations in mainland China, or you have some users in mainland China. Could you give us an idea of roughly what percentage of your customers are in mainland China?
So the Chinese operation is basically a tech support center, and we are relying on basically tech support and lots of tech operation that's actually hosting in China as well. So we don't have majorities of users that's actually based in China, but I think a lot of users actually are still based on the APAC region.
Just, piggybacking off of Lawrence's comment, last October, OKEX suspended crypto withdrawals after the exchange founder Star Zhu was taken away by police without any clear reason. My understanding is that OKEX suspended withdrawals because of a private key holder issue that was needed, and that Star was thought to be that private key holder, and he was detained. So if that is the case, have you improved private key management at OKEX so that the disappearance of one person doesn't disrupt exchange operations?
No, so OKEX has never had a single point of failure of that particular Star Zhu private key issues that would impact. So OKEX has a different kind of OKEX have been many years operation of crypto exchanges. So we have a lot of backup plan. If one kind of like private key holders get into trouble, they can, that we have a backup key system already in place. But back in that time, right? So we have when Star Zhu got a regulatory concern and got detained for regulatory interventions. First, we did several things, right? We have to think about whether or not we can turn on the backup key solution, right? At the same time, we have to understand what is going on, right? At the same time, so by continuously having dialogue with the regulatory body, and at the same time, the OKEX management also to think about how to turn on to activate the backup key solution, the backup key plan. But back in the time that Star Zhu is unable to keep contact, to maintain contact. So meaning that we cannot get in touch with Star Zhu directly. So that comes to the problem of us. So whenever in the legacy design, we have to rely on Star Zhu to get into some control on some level of the token. So a majority of the token can be withdrawn back in time, but we have to consider the entire market stability on OKEX back in time. So we decided to suspend withdrawal for a short while we have a dialogue with the government at the same time to understand where the situation is going on. So after this incident, we kick off our entire wallet backup plan and upgrade plan. So right now, I think it's completely solved the issues already.
So bottom line, could this happen again?
Sorry, I can't hear.
Could it happen again where withdrawals are suspended?
It won't happen again. So basically, I'm very sure that it won't happen again because we already have an additional layer of backup key system that will prevent all kind of similar thing that can happen again on OKEX.
Great. Lennix, that was a very thorough explanation. Thank you very much for your insights, and I appreciate your time in joining us this morning.
No problem.
Hey, that was Lennix Lai, OKEX Director of Financial Markets at OKEX. Coming up, crypto asset manager Bitwise, and checking in with CoinDesk's Nick Day.
CoinDesk Indexes, the market standard for crypto assets since 2014. Our trusted data powers billions in publicly traded funds. CoinDesk Indexes are the standard used by institutions, and they're the key for investors looking to understand and access crypto markets.
CoinDesk Bitcoin Price Index, XBX, has been instrumental to Grayscale, enabling investors around the world to access Bitcoin through a regulated, familiar product.
CoinDesk Indexes enabled the early adopters to build crypto investment vehicles, and they're already trusted by a new generation of global investors.
The CoinDesk Spotlight is brought to you by Nexo, the place to earn on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and more.
Crypto asset manager Bitwise has gone live with a new exchange-traded fund on the New York Stock Exchange that offers investors exposure to 30 pure-play crypto firms like Coinbase, MicroStrategy, and more. The ETF will aim to track Bitwise's list of top crypto firms and includes companies with 100 million or more of liquid crypto assets on their balance sheet. Joining us now to discuss is Bitwise Chief Investment Officer Matt Hougan. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Great to have you. All right, so Coinbase earnings are out after the closing bell. Coinbase is on your list. Perhaps you could comment on the company's performance and how it fits into your ETF.
It's a great question. It's the largest single holding in our ETF, and it's exemplary of the kind of companies we want to put into this ETF. What we're going to learn later today is that Coinbase had an extraordinary first quarter. We expect to see revenues that exceed all the revenues they had in 2020. But here's the interesting thing, and this is true not just about Coinbase, but about a lot of companies in this index and in this ETF. It has that extraordinarily high level of revenue growth, but it's also extraordinarily profitable. Often when you talk about early stage technology companies, they're growing very fast, but they're losing money. One unique thing about the crypto industry is you have companies that show that early stage technology level of growth, but they're doing it with extreme profitability. And that's what you're going to see in today's earnings. I think it should get people excited about Coinbase and also about the broader crypto industry as a whole.
Good morning. You're invested about 9% of this in MicroStrategy and 11% in Coinbase. So MicroStrategy is basically a play for being long Bitcoin. Coinbase a play for, in a way, for volatility in crypto. So how would you characterize this ETF? Is it just a long play in crypto and Bitcoin particularly, or is it long volatility?
I characterize it as a play on the growth of the crypto industry in its totality. So MicroStrategy is a unique holding in that it's included in the ETF because of that core position that it has in Bitcoin. Most of the companies in the ETF are the picks and shovels of the crypto industry. They're the companies that are building the infrastructure that lets crypto hum. They're Bitcoin mining companies, they're mining equipment manufacturers, they're banks like Silvergate, which did a deal yesterday to be the exclusive issuer of stablecoins for Diem. These are very, very exciting companies. Look, if crypto does well, as we all expect, I think these companies will benefit, some at different correlations to crypto than others. But what we wanted to give people was an easy picks and shovels infrastructure play on the extreme growth we're seeing in the crypto industry. And we're excited to have the ETF BITQ out there and trading in the market.
So the MicroStrategy play, though, in many ways is a play because right now there's no Bitcoin ETF, and it's a way for institutions to get into a long position in Bitcoin without actually buying it directly. What happens should there be an ETF and that premium that MicroStrategy right now commands for its Bitcoin goes down? Do you dump MicroStrategy or do you buy a Bitcoin ETF? What happens then?
It's a great question. Look, the premium has gone down substantially. I think when MicroStrategy first allocated to Bitcoin, it traded to an extreme premium to the underlying value of its Bitcoin holding. That has already come down, and it may come in line with that Bitcoin holding. It will stay in the ETF. This ETF is designed as an index-based strategy to capture all of the largest companies that are contributing to the crypto ecosystem. You and I know that MicroStrategy is one of those companies. What they do, what they decide to do matters. Just today, they were buying more Bitcoin. That's a statement in support of the crypto industry. So it will stay in. But again, it's just one of 30 companies, but you raise a good point.
We can't let you leave without asking your thoughts on Tesla and Musk and its impact on the market. How important do you think this is? How big an impact do you think it will have on Bitcoin in the short and long term?
Look, what it's going to do is raise to the forefront of the new investors that are coming into the market this question of the environmental sustainability of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency more broadly. Like almost every industry that exists today, the crypto industry is going through a transition from a carbon-intensive past to a carbon neutral future. And Tesla is using its bully pulpit to accelerate that transition. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. The important thing about that tweet to me was there is nothing that Tesla did that backed away from cryptocurrency in general, right? It talked about cryptocurrency being important, having a lot of great promise. That core promise, money moving over the internet, a more efficient, more inclusive financial system, that is not going to be stopped by temporary concerns about where we are on this transition from a carbon-intensive past to a carbon-neutral future. So I think it's a setback, right? The price is down. I think we will have a lot of conversations with institutional investors about the real ESG impact on Bitcoin. That's a complex conversation. There are pros and cons, but this is a conversation that we had to have. I think we will get through it, and long term, the trajectory is still on the upside.
Matt, do you have any thoughts on how crypto companies, how many, what rate may go public this year?
Yeah, there's a huge pipeline of crypto companies that are looking to go public. In fact, crypto is one of the rare industries where private companies are sometimes bigger than the publicly traded companies. We put a rule into our index that allows us to add IPOs on the day following their listing. So Coinbase entered on April 15th at a full 10% weight. We did that because new IPOs are such an important part of this ecosystem. You could see companies like Kraken, companies like Gemini, you could see companies like Chainalysis. There are a large number of companies that are in that pipeline towards moving towards public. Bitmain, another example. So any index or ETF that wants to allocate to the crypto market needs to take that into account. I think it's going to be an extraordinary story, an exciting story, and a story that brings more traditional investors into the crypto market, makes them recognize the huge growth that we're all experiencing every day.
All right, Matt. Well, thanks for joining us on the show, and congratulations on your new ETF.
Thank you so much.
Right, that was Bitwise Chief Investment Officer Matt Hougan. Time to check in with CoinDesk Global Policy and Regulation Managing Editor Nick Day, who's also the editor of CoinDesk's The State of Crypto newsletter. Hello there, Nick. All right, so a date has been set for. Good morning. A date has been set for BitMEX's leadership to go on trial. What's the latest?
Yeah, so the U.S. government is suing BitMEX on criminal charges of allegations of money laundering and a couple others. There is a trial date set for March 28, 2022. And until then, there's going to be a number of other deadlines where, parties can file documents, look for discovery, make their arguments about, if they want to file any other motions. So there's a lot coming up. But yes, the date is the actual trial won't begin until next March.
Nick, it's almost 10 a.m. and I haven't said the word Tether yet, so I'm going to say it now. Tether issued its balance sheet, what's on the balance sheet, and it looks like the majority of their assets is actually in something called commercial paper. As you know, way back when they first kind of hinted that they might not have entirely all the cash behind it, they said that some of it could be IOUs to related entities. So do we know exactly what they're calling, what companies they're calling commercial paper here?
No, so you're right. Commercial paper appears to make up about 49% of the overall backing of the USDT stablecoin. It's unclear what exactly that commercial paper is, who's issued it, what the ratings are, things like that.
Nick, seems like DM, the artist formerly known as Libra, is not actually dead. What's going on there?
Yeah, DM announced yesterday that it's moving its primary operations to the US and working with Silvergate Bank to issue a US dollar stablecoin. It's a pretty sharp departure from the original basket-backed stablecoin vision based out of Switzerland. But, we've known for a while since last April that the basket-backed stablecoin wouldn't really be a thing. So it just kind of feels like, this is its effort to actually launch something. Silvergate will be handling the actual issuing and reserve management for the stablecoin. So Silvergate, of course, has experience in this. It's got its own internal blockchain, and network. So it's an interesting move.
Yeah, maybe Mark should have named his goats DM and stablecoin. May not have the same ring to it, though. All right, thanks, Nick, for the update.
Thank you.
All right, that was CoinDesk Managing Editor of Global Policy and Regulation, Nick Day. Don't forget to sign up for the State of Crypto newsletter on CoinDesk.com. Time now to check in with Crypto Twitter with our tweet of the day. This one from Skybridge founders Anthony Scaramucci. Twitter is abuzz about Elon and Tesla, so he's tweeting, Elon's goal level set the Bitcoin community and focus policymakers on the urgency for clean energy mining. The path to 1 million BTC and hyper Bitcoinization demands renewable mining. Elon will contribute mightily in this regard. He's hodling. All right. That's it for First Mover. Thank you, Emily Parker, our CoinDesk Managing Director of International Content, and Lawrence Lewitinn, Managing Editor of Global Capital Markets. I'm your host, Christine Lee. I'll be back live at 3 p.m. with All About Bitcoin. Coming up at noon is The Hash. You're watching CoinDesk TV.